Oh, doesn't it feel good to be back, everybody? Doesn't it feel good to be back? Looking at some streaming, probably. Oh gosh, this is going to be probably one of the last weeks. I think next week is the very last week of regular, frequent streams. After that, we'll go back to podcasts and we'll go back to a once a week stream. But numbers have very, very quickly returned to pre 1K sub levels. So unfortunately, there's only 8 of you in currently. A little bit disappointed, but the game's on tonight. I know a lot of you are there. And I know a lot of you will be listening to it on the radio. So we're still going to stream. We're going to get something out of it at least. Now, we're going to be talking about Tanganga. We're going to be talking about Reguilón. We're going to be talking about others that could potentially join Nottingham Forest over the coming week and a half. Lots of work to be done, of course. We know, and I know that people are tagging me and things. Don't worry, I do know. Fabrizio Romano saying that we're not any closer to signing Reguilón or Tanganga from Tottenham. Both of them currently playing at Tottenham. Tanganga centre-back / right-back and Reguilón kind of a right-back position. So good players, no doubt. Basically, Forest are interested in both. We all know the kind of defensive blunder that they had against Everton just last week. Which was devastating considering we could have took home that 3 points, and how good would that have felt? We still would have been above United, which we still are, so I'm not too worried. But nonetheless, we're above Liverpool as well. But we won't go there. We're above Champions League winners. We're above all that nowadays. But seriously though, guys, interesting buys. I agree, Woods. Now, Woods, I didn't expect Reguilón and Tanganga to be targets of Nottingham Forest, to be honest. I thought, to be fair to Nottingham Forest, they've got a good scouting network, but I didn't expect them to go for those 2 players, to be honest. In specific, I thought they were going to go for someone that's got a bit of Prem quality, as have Tanganga and Reguilón, but at the same time, I didn't expect them to go for those 2, because it shocked me, because if we're looking at the right-back position, right wing-back, you've got Nico Williams. You don't really need, Biancone is still versatile and can play that position as he did at Troyes over in France. So it's not really 100% necessary that you do have that, if you know what I'm saying, in terms of Reguilón. If you wanted Tanganga to play right back, you wouldn't really necessarily need it. It's the centre-back role that we're worrying about. Now, I'm seeing a lot of things going around at the moment, especially about Joe Worrell. And I just want to say, and everybody's sending me a link to this interview at the moment, and it's with Robin Chipperfield, Sports Chippers, legendary broadcaster at the club, was here for a long, long time. But people are showing me the video. Oh, Joe Worrell said he'd go to a Prem club if it's too hard, it's too big of a gamble. Forest trying to get into the Prem and all this and this. But at the end of the day, this is the thing with Joe Worrell. People are getting on his backs because of that game at Everton. Now, I will just say there's things that can be improved on. But that is a great goal. Ryan Yates has scored, put Forest 1-0 up in the game against Grimsby. This is absolutely brilliant news. So congratulations, Ryan Yates. You're all in the Humber now. He's scored. This is really, really good news. Nottingham Forest 1-0 up against Grimsby now, which is fantastic news, isn't it? Now, we're about 19 minutes in, roughly. So do keep listening, and I'll bring you live score updates as well as talking to you about the game. So don't worry. Live score updates, talking about the game, and also talking about the latest transfer news. So welcome, everybody. Woods, Tim, I know a lot of people are going to be out currently or listening to the radio, so don't worry. I know tonight's going to be quite a quiet stream. Completely understand. But do stick around if you can and share to groups. It'd be amazing if you could give us a bit of a helping hand with that one. It means a lot. So, Tim, good to have you. G. Cullis, Tanganga, centre-back / right-back. I think he's fairly versatile in that area. Kel, good to have you. Zahia. Everybody joining in this evening that can't unfortunately watch the game, which is most of us. Peter, everybody that's in. Jigsy. Nottingham Forest now 1-0 up. Ryan Yates. Good work by him. Very, very, very pleased. And apparently it was a hell of a strike. So Forest at the moment controlling 80%. Yes, 80% of the possession so far. They've made 140 passes with an 87% pass accuracy, and I've had 3 shots, 1 on target, and that being the goal. So pretty good so far from Nottingham Forest, from what we can see. But Forest and no interest in cups. Well, see, you say this, Forest, and it's interesting you do say this, because Steve Cooper was asked, are you going to experiment? Are you going to experiment over the weekend? On Tuesday, ready for the weekend? We're going to see this person and this person. He says, no, we're going to go in it to win, which is interesting, because for me, I would still say that they're probably experimenting a little bit. They're putting Freuler in the team. They're putting Dennis in the team. 2 very good players, evidently, anyway. But they are testing it out. So it's interesting to see. I think there's some element of experimenting, but this is a very, very strong side. And although there's a lot of younger players in that squad, so if I just quickly read the squad out to you now. Hennessy in goal, Biancone and Beso, Mighton. I'm not quite sure what they're going for. I don't know if they're going for a back 4 here, but it's Hennessy in goal, Biancone and Beso, Surridge, Mighton, Cafu, Kuyate, Yates, Freuler, Dennis, Donnelly making his, I think it might be is it his first start? I'm pretty sure it is. And don't worry, Tim, I've missed the goal as well. I'm just going off what people are telling me now. But a good side, a very, very, very strong side. Good to see Surridge getting in some minutes, and obviously Dennis and Freuler getting their first minutes in Forest shirts, which is good. I still would have had Dennis on at the weekend, but we'll move away from the weekend. Let's talk about now. Now, I know some of you aren't interested in cups, but as Steve Cooper said, it's the winning mentality that Forest have now. They've got to go in there and win. Got to go in there and win. That's what it's all about. Regardless of the cup, regardless of the league, regardless of whatever. Got to go in there and win. And you got to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, it's all right winning in the Premier League or, getting the odd draw and stuff here. But it's also, if you can do bits outside of that as well, keeps motivation high, brings in a little bit of money for the club as well, so it's valuable. It's valuable. Now, looking at this, got an old school radio, says Cal. Gotta love it. Colin Frey. There's worse voices to hear, am I right? Colin Frey, absolute legend. He's with Steve Sutton this evening, which is very, very nice. Simon, evening. Nick, it's good to have you back. I wonder where you've been. I've not seen you for a little while. And good evening. Where would Reguilon fit in? Yeah, I don't know why there's so much worry about those wing-back positions. It's a little bit... You ask the question, what's going on? It's a bit confusing, to be honest. There's something going on that I don't think we fully understand when it comes to players. I just have a feeling that they're maybe a bit more injury prone than Forest ever thought. So weird, mate. Weird. It's a bit weird. Jamie Austin, good evening, my friend. You're looking very young on that profile picture. I can tell you all now. He's an old man now, I tell you. You're in the Humber. You're in the Humber. Correction, sir. You're in the Humber. Get in there. I'm joking. Please don't. If Yates scores, we're in the Humber. So, looking good so far for Forest at the moment. Pretty good on the stats at the moment. 72% possession still. Almost 3 times the amount of passes. 87% pass accuracy. No new shots to notify you of just at the moment by the looks of it. But pretty good work all round so far. And Ryan Yates, good man. Good man. We must have that mentality now. Absolutely. Cups are ideal for experimenting. Yeah, definitely. But obviously at the same time, Steve Cooper wants to put out a very, very strong team, as he has done tonight, I would say. So pretty good work from him. I'd say the team's really, really good. Would have been nice to see maybe Zach Abbott get a game as well, if possible. Big fan of him. Very, very good player. And was class against Notts County. I think he also played in the Youth Cup final. Bolton beating Villa as well. Interesting. If we win one of the cups, could be. Anything could happen. Anything's possible. We've seen it already. Pardon me. Osborne, good to have you. Gotta love Colin Frey. Pleasure sitting next to him against Everton. Very, very, very enjoyable. Hearing him commentate whilst also reporting. Difficult to do, but fun. How old do they have to be to register 25-man squad? I don't actually know on that one. Very good question. That might be a question for Nick. So yeah, Nick's probably a bit more knowledgeable on that one for me. Good question. So essentially most don't. So the reason is if you've got a car speaker or a radio, if you've got a handheld, whatever you've got, that's the way they do it. And the reason is because of licenses. I don't think many places actually fully commentate online without it being a radio. Like you can go to I don't know, Alexa. Sometimes I think TalkSport can. I've just turned her on now. Oh God, what's she doing? No, don't. Alexa, don't say anything. Yeah, so people have got DAB and stuff. It's just to do with licensing. So yes, that's why I don't commentate live. So soon I won't be able to do live reports to you guys, but I'll be able to do full commentary to those in hospital to get around the licenses. It's pretty good, to be honest. So if any of you are ever in hospital, you're going to get treated with some commentary. Let's hope it's for nothing bad, if ever. So let's have a look. For those wanting radio commentary but don't have a radio, use your Freeview TV. Oh, interesting. I didn't actually know that, Adam. Very, very good point. Channel 720, apparently. That's very... Do you know what? I'm going to try that, actually. Let's try it now, shall we? Oh, my TV's decided not to turn on. Oh, well, TV's decided not to turn on. No worries. Forest should build a statue of Colin Frey outside the newsstand. There's got to be some element of tribute to Colin as well, because I mean, having listened to him for most of my life and people actually having known him for longer than I've been alive, and for him to have been working longer than I've been alive, I think it's really, really impressive. You know, the level of service that he's given to our club, especially during the times when we thought, and I think he might have been there when we were in League One, maybe. You know, at times when you would have thought, Jesus, I do not want to work here. He's been there, you know, that whole time. And I think that's really, really special. So, you know, for me, there's got to be some element of tribute coming to him at some point. You know, obviously, eventually, if he did leave BBC Radio Nottingham, then there'd obviously be something. But there's got to be something while he's still here. You know, he's still going strong, obviously, and doing everything that he's doing. So I can't imagine that's anytime soon. But yeah, I really like Colin Frey. I think he's an example, and he's got probably one of the best voices, I would argue, in the world of commentary. I would say. I think he's got to be up there. Massively, massively underrated. Good servant to the club. Now, let's talk a little bit about Japhet Tanganga. Let's talk a little bit about Sergio Reguilon. Two players linked with Nottingham Forest. And Fabrizio Romano did give an update on them, saying essentially that Nottingham Forest aren't any closer to signing Reguilon or Tanganga from Tottenham. Now, I know that there's some people tagging me in things, and don't worry, I have seen it. But at the moment, Forest, obviously coming off that Everton loss, and maybe even before, I would argue before, looking at potential targets in the transfer window. There's still time to go, obviously, another week or so. And it's 5 against Derby. Is it? Surely not. My friend's watching that game. Oh, wow. So Derby taking the lead. 15 minutes in, Louis Sibley. Good result for them. Aston Villa still down. Nottingham Forest still a goal up at the moment. One more shot for Forest. 4 shots in total. 73% possession from current stats. So, yeah, let's have a look. So maybe the new media centre in the future newsstand could be named after Colin Frey. I mean, why not? You know, I think he's been an excellent servant, you know, and even through, and I will just say this, there's people that don't want to work in certain places because of the form of the club, you know, and you got to give some. I know that Manchester United are in a very different position because although Man United weren't doing too well towards the start of the season and haven't had a good season since 2013, probably, you know, other than when they won the Europa League in 17, you know, Gary Neville always stuck around. And of course, it's very different because he's getting paid a lot of money and probably a lot more money than Colin Frey is, but at the same time, it's about sticking with the club. And I think you've got to hand it to commentators that do stay at clubs that, because Colin Frey obviously cares for Forest, whether he supports them or not, massively cares. And it's so difficult to commentate on a losing Forest side. I've had the pleasure of never commentating on a home game where Forest have lost. I've been very, very fortunate. But that being said, Tottenham on Sunday, it's going to be a really tough game. Man City on Wednesday, the week, a couple of days after. I'm going to go to Manchester, and I know that probably, you're playing the best team in the world, essentially, at the moment. It's one of those, isn't it? It's where you're like, I know I'm probably going to go out there and not going to get a result, but at the end of the day, you do it because you love it. And Forest has always been my team. And I've always loved doing it, which is why, regardless win or lose, it's the best thing ever. But yeah, it'd be nice to, have maybe like the media, as Nick says, the media centre named after Colin Frey, if that could be done, because I think he's done a lot of service to the club, arguably probably the most service to the club, and what can I say? He's a legend. He's a legend. I'd love to work with him one day. Would absolutely love to work with him one day. Now, I'm just looking at the Ryan Yates strike. Just goes on the edge of the box. Absolutely beautiful. Just around 3 or 4 yards off the penalty spot. And he just hits it with his left foot. Goes straight into the top left corner. Beautiful. That is a great Ryan Yates goal. I've just retweeted it on Twitter. If any of you want to go and have a quick look, go and have a look. It is a very, very good goal. So, yeah, amazing. Apparently, we're putting a bid for the Dutch defender. I think, is that Hateboer? I'm tempted to say it's Hateboer. Decent player. Yeah, Hans Hateboer, yeah. Decent player, but at the moment, I'm not sure that there's any interest in him joining Forest. He's 28, decent player. 1.87 metres, so if that makes any difference for you. He's played in the Netherlands national football team as well. Played for Groningen. Which I think was actually where Virgil van Dijk played as well. So, he's got, he's got a pretty good reputation, has Hateboer. But whether he will actually come to Forest or not, I don't know. I don't know about that. I doubt it. I don't think it'll happen. But anything could happen. Anything could happen in this transfer window, as we know. Let's have a look. So, Colin Frey's a part of the fabric of our club. Well, yeah. I mean, look, I agree, and massive boots to. If I do want to do that, what he does now is my absolute dream. As much as I'd like to go, as much as I'd love to go and do some stuff for Sky or the transfer centre or stuff like that, which I really would love to do in the future. That is my absolute dream. But I think you've got to look at your roots, haven't you, and go, oh my goodness, that is commentating on Forest, is just the best thing. And to be able to be heard to a wider audience as well is just amazing. So massive boots to fill with Colin, but yeah, amazing. So, and don't worry, no, Frey isn't a Spurs fan. I think what Nick Hemphill was saying is that Hateboer, who we were linked with, is prefers Spurs to Forest. So if you'd literally just go on my profile, it's a quote retweet as well, so you should be able to see. You can see it now, Tim, can you? Brilliant. Is that match on BBC Nottingham? It is, and as someone rightfully says, you can actually get it on 720 on Freeview. So if you've got Freeview on your telly. And it's now 2-0. Good work by Nottingham Forest. There is another goal. Who is the goal scorer? I wonder. Let's wait for what Nottingham Forest say. I hate this. I hate waiting and seeing if it's who's scored or whatever. Who has scored? Oh, I don't like this. We're waiting. Who is it? Oh, it's Surridge. It's Super Surridge. Amazing. Brilliant news. Brilliant news. So we're not even into the second half yet. This seems pretty encouraging. As long as it's not like that cup game at Bury. I don't know if any of you remember that went to penalties. when we had Steele. What was his name? Summit Steele in goal. I remember that. That was absolutely rubbish. That was a really boring night. That was a really boring night. Now, and also, guys, I've been forgetting to ask. I hope you all enjoyed the Gary Birtles interview. I know that some of you were commenting on the YouTube video. Really appreciate that. A lot of you liked it as well, so thank you. But honestly, really appreciate all your kindness with that interview. I will be doing another one soon with another former Forest player who you guys are still guessing. I've not given you anything. So, see, I'm not giving you anything away, but all I'll say is former Forest player, played here a couple of years ago, very well known. So that's all I'm saying. But that's not going to be for another 3 weeks to a month, that interview. So in the meantime, we're working on others. Don't worry. And we're going to be making some other content as well. Maybe just little bits here and there, post-match preview, post-match reviews, previews, and other things as well. So I'll be making sure to keep you updated with podcasts, because obviously, unfortunately, as all of you will now know, streams, they won't be coming to an end, but they'll be becoming far less frequent. And I'm looking at other ways to stream as well, because it's £20 a month. So I'm just trying to keep costs a bit lower. But yeah, I'm going to also be getting the month's revenue as well soon from ads, and also your super chats as well. Don't forget your super chats. Half of it, or in fact, half of all revenue goes to charity as well. And I'll be taking a screenshot and giving money to charity. So at the moment, I would say we're doing about £20 per month for charity. So it's over £200 a year for charity, which is really good. And we may even start doing charity streams in the future as well, where I do challenges, maybe even play FIFA, just do stuff like that. And we may even start doing some Football Manager streams. Who knows? I might have to. Now, so Tim, I won't comment, my friend, but Kel's multitasking. She's got Sky Sports, radio, she's got everything. Absolutely everything as Cal. She's done a good job here. She's done a very good job here. She's got everything on. Luke Steele, correct? Yeah, Luke Steele. I was going to say Sam Steele or something like that. I don't know why. I don't know why. Can you give us a clue on what year he was playing in? No, I can't. I can't. Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. It would be too easy. Adam Draper, donate £1 for every save. Okay, then. Okay. Pick a game this season. Any game. We'll run it on Twitter and everything, obviously, first. But if any of you want to just let me know, literally just say the game, and I will put £1 for every single save that Dean Henderson makes. If it's 50 saves, it's 50 quid. Yeah? 100 saves is 100 quid. I will do that, and it'll all go to charity. That sounds like a good deal to me. So if you're interested, let me know what game you want to see for that. Share this video, like as well if you can, because it goes a long way. And make sure that we keep pushing the engagement up if possible. I know it's been a bit of a quiet one. We're just pushing 50 people, which is it's a rarity these days. You don't see that very often, to be honest. Yeah, if you can just give us a like and everything, then that would be amazing. So Man City, says Kel. Homeless guy says Spurs. Interesting. It is weird to hear Sky. Yeah, saying that. Yeah. Oh, well, we've got to get used to this now for at least another year minimum. So very, very excited by that. Now we're going to go till 9 o'clock. I was hoping to have Ellie join us tonight. She usually does Doors streams. Her name's Ellie Mollo, I think it is. Because we've never, and I just want to say actually, it's weird that we've never actually had a woman join us for the stream. And we've got loads of amazing people in the comments, but we've never actually had one on the panel. So be good to have more women in the panel, bit more diverse if you like, and get some opinions from other fans as well. So and also I think when Ellie does come on, which hopefully won't be too long, she's an ambassador for Her Game Too, I think it is. So Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Eve, good to have you in the stream. I hope you're as well, okay as well. Henderson, 18 saves so far, not bad. So I'd have to give. I mean, what's that like? 4 per game, 3 per game? No. What am I on about? No. 4. Yeah, it's about 4 per game, isn't it, roughly? So I've got to do something a bit more than that. I've got to give a bit more money than that, because that's a bit. I can afford a bit more than that. Do you want to see Dennis start the weekend? Interesting. Part of me says yes, and part of me says no, because Taiwo Awoniyi is a very good player. I like him. But I do have to ask the question. Okay. I do have to ask the question. Would you rather have Awoniyi wear out the defense, be a bit of a menace, maybe get a couple of shots in, and then just have Dennis come and essentially finish them all off? Or would you rather have Dennis just straight away go on? I don't know, because it's like a Sam Surridge and Keenan Davis situation almost a little bit. So yeah, it's a bit. Oh, it's a tough one. That is. It's a really, really tough one. It's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. Dino total saves over the season. Oh. So if I do this right, so let's say we've had 4 times. So if we've had 4 goals for 18 saves in 4 games, we're looking at around 4 saves per game, and there's 38 games. Okay, to be £152. I think we could probably match that. So Adam, don't take my word for it, but I'll have a look into that. Now, guys, I'm one big man start firing. I think with Awoniyi, I think he just needs to take his shots a little bit earlier, to be honest, because he's a good player. He's a good, he will score. There's no doubt. When he starts scoring properly, they won't be stopping him. But he needs to get off and do it. And that's why I would have had him on tonight. And I'm hoping that maybe they do have him on tonight, to be fair, for that exact reason. At some point, maybe later in the second half, because I just thought he needed to get his shots off a little bit more. Because, there was about 2 or 3 opportunities at Everton, where he probably could have just, gone for it and really, he could have got a goal, I think. I think he would have got the goal. But yeah, that's just how it is, isn't it? I suppose on that one. But I just think releasing the ball quicker for him, just something that he needs to do a little bit more of. So, you know what? Fair play to it. And I'm just having a look at this Sam Surridge goal. Looks like he just made a pass into the box and, sliced it away, as he does. Right foot, past the keeper. Absolutely no chance. Good work from him. Now, 41 of you in. We're not going to go for as long as the hour, unfortunately, because I'm going to try and catch some of the game on the radio. But before I do go, I do want to talk about the thing that we actually came here to talk about. And we will be streaming again on Friday evening. We should be Friday evening, because I'm working tomorrow and I'm working 7:30 in the morning till 10 p.m. at night on Thursday. So I'm not looking forward to that at all. And then I'm working Friday night, but I'm going to run home so I can come and do it. So, but trust me, I'm trying my best, everyone. If you could just hit the like button, push it over the edge a little bit. And there's 43 of you in. So if you all just quickly click the like button, it goes a long way. And as I say, I'm going to be streaming again Friday night, doing a little preview of the Tottenham game. Or it might be Saturday night for the preview. We'll have a quick look. There'll be a bit more transfer news, is what I'll say, by Friday. So we'll have a quick chat about that. And then unfortunately, the transfer streams will be coming to an end. I'm really, really gutted, to be honest. I'm really, really gutted about that. Until Christmas as well. We've got such a long way to wait. I mean, just after Christmas, World Cup and everything. There'll be World Cup streams. Don't worry. There'll be England World Cup streams coming to you. And I need content ideas. So anything that you guys want. Obviously, the interviews is something that we're working on. And all I will say is there's something massive in the pipeline at the moment that is unrelated to this channel, kind of, but will have some relevance to it. So, yeah, just stay tuned is all I'll say. Stay tuned. It's barbaric. Barbaric. Yeah, what can I say, Surely it should be Dennis the Menace. Who knows? I just think wearing out the defence and then doing it, but it's like, do we want to get off to an early start? I don't know. Tottenham's defence as well. I don't know if I'd just rather... I don't know, but this is another thing Forest defence have got to watch out for. Pacey attackers at Tottenham. Son. Richarlison. You're going to have Kulusevski coming in as well. They've got to be ready for that. So the defence situation, something they can look at. But at the end of the day, I think they can deal with it. Won't be easy because it's Tottenham, of course. But yeah, see how it goes. There have been 6 Forest commentators through history. Can you name them? Oh, no, I probably can't, but I'm just going to throw 3 names that I know, and they might not be. Robin Chipperfield, probably not one. May have been. Colin Frey, Colin Slater. Who's the other guy? There was another guy as well. I know his name. Just before. I can't even think now. Nick, you're always trying me with these questions. You've killed me tonight, you have, Nick. I tell you. Absolutely killed me. This is a hard one, this. That's all I can get. Darren Fletcher? Yeah, Darren Fletcher, there's one. Can we guess Darren Fletcher as well? 2 correct. So I'm going to say Colin Slater because I know he used to do back in the day. And so Colin Slater and Frey. But yeah, I thought Chippers was one as well. Is Chippers not one? I would have thought it is. Darren Fletcher as well. Martin Fisher. You've lost me already there. Larry Lloyd. Was Larry Lloyd really a commentator? I did not know that. I did not know Larry Lloyd was a commentator at Forest. Well, there you go. Surely Spurs bottle it against us. Look, I'll just say this on Spurs. I'll just say, and by the way, the half has finished 2-0. Nottingham Forest 2, Grimsby 0. Aston Villa managed to get an equaliser with Douglas Luiz in the 36th, and Derby still leading against West Brom at Pride Park. So I got 4. So we got 4. That's decent enough. Regarding Spurs, I will just say this: very good team. It'll be hard to get the point out of them. Very hard because they've got a good team and an absolutely immense manager. Always rated Conte, and I think Man United made the biggest mistake not having him when they could have. Obviously, Eric Ten Hag is going to do good things for them or whatever. And Ez, don't worry, I won't, get you started on United. But yeah, for me, I think Conte, very good manager, but they've still underperformed. Tottenham have still underperformed a little bit. They were not very good against Chelsea, and let's be honest, Chelsea at the moment, they're not looking clever. They could spend 130 million on Fofana and Anthony Gordon. I'm just saying this, and this is in no disrespect to Anthony Gordon or anyone, but Forest have been completely berated by many organisations, including TalkSport, who have now developed a different approach, obviously, since I went on the programme. If any of you heard that as well, TalkSport, I can send it you if you haven't. But TalkSport, a couple of others as well. Forest have spent this much, or they've done this, or 25 million on Gibbs White could rise to 35. That's a monstrosity. Hold on. Chelsea could potentially bid up to 70 million. 70 million for Anthony Gordon, who is a very good player. But how on earth are you going to justify 70 million? Okay, Morgan Gibbs White's done it in the Championship, had a good few games against Wolves, but I have no doubt in my mind that Morgan Gibbs White will become worth his value. My problem is that with Anthony Gordon, I think you've got a really good player there. I don't think he'd work under Tuchel because Tuchel just seems to ruin players at times. You either work under his tactics or you completely fail. And I do worry that I do worry that, that they could ruin Anthony Gordon's career potentially by making this happen. As much as he wants to leave, I think they'd be ruining his career. I just think that the media hype kills players. Look at Dele Alli. Because there's ability in that player. There is so much ability in Dele Alli that, you wouldn't even know, but I just think that Dele Alli is just the victim of a hype train that unfortunately he believed him, maybe didn't have the right people around him, because as soon as you get yes men in around you all the time, things don't work out. That's why it's important to have people like, as much as people don't like him, Simon Jordan, you've got to give credit to him. He's not a yes man. He will say it as it is. And, often he does. Some things he says that I don't agree with, like calling, Steve Cooper a loser, a perennial loser. Calling him things like that I didn't appreciate. But do you know what? For Simon Jordan, to be fair to him, he says it how it is. And I respect him for that. But the media has to look at this Anthony Gordon situation and realise that this could go either one of two ways. He could be ruined by the media hype and potentially by Chelsea and become a sub, a very expensive sub, or he could have a very good career at Chelsea. I'd say it's going to be the second option. I think if I was him, it'd be another year at Everton, build up more quality, maybe keep Everton up and become popular within the club even more, and then see what happens next year. You're a young lad. You've got time to go. If you jump into it too quickly, I just feel you're going to be the victim of a hype train. And that'll be your career. Essentially, you'll hit the peak then, and that's it. So I just think he still needs time at Everton. But that's how it. Look at Jed Spence, very good player, 20 million, went to Tottenham, and has he even played yet? He's not even being named in squads at the moment. That's concerning. And they're talking about maybe being loaned out again. And you just think, well, look at James Garner. It's just loan after loan after loan after loan. He doesn't get used to an environment. He needs to be ready. He needs to be ready to. I just look, and I'm just saying this, and as Adam Draper says here, media hype kills off. Of course, and of course, staying humble is massively important. But the problem is, when you get to a point where you're doing so well, and this isn't just within football, this is within life as well. There is people that do so well, and they're just surrounded by leeches. You look at Mike Tyson, his manager absolutely exploited him, saw he was doing good, contacted him, exploited him. At the end of the day, there's definitely an element of self-management that needed to be had with Dele Alli, right? There's no denying that. But how on earth, the footballers are victims of it all the time. They do start to do well, and all of a sudden people want to be their friend. You look at Brennan Johnson, there was people that were slagging him off up until Christmas. There was people slagging him off before he got into that first team saying he won't be able to do it. There's people slagging off Joe Worrell now, but when he starts to play well and his value starts to go up, people will be the very first to want to go and meet him, go and get his autograph, go and speak to him. You know what I mean? And it's about being there with them for the whole journey, respecting them regardless of their decisions, but also being a good person and telling them and advising them. I'm not saying if you're friends with Joe Worrell, go and tell him what to do every game. But I'm just saying if he's going, oh, I've got this guy coming over after me, for a £60 million offer, or I've got this person in a hypothetical world, as a friend, you should be saying, do you know what I'm going to say to you now? You need to snap out of that. Joe's going to be good. And Tim, you're right. Joe's going to be absolutely fine. He's going to be fine. But for players like Jed Spence, I do worry that there's going to be an element of him where he isn't humble. And I think he will become a victim of that hype train, which I don't want to say because I do like Jed Spence, but I just have that feeling. I think he was hyped up too quickly. And now I think Spurs, that move is going to kill his career, if something's not done drastically. And Nick, as you say, Conte didn't even want him. He didn't even want him. The club saw it as an investment. I mean, who on earth goes to a club and the manager doesn't even want them? Could you imagine And all these people saying, oh, Steve Cooper didn't want this person, or Steve Cooper didn't want... You don't know that. You don't know. When have you seen a picture of Steve Cooper meeting the players without a smile in his face? I've not even seen Conte meet Spence yet, so I'm not content with the media, because what they do is they will just pump players full of ego, completely pump them full of ego, and then they just rip it straight from them when they stop doing well. They'll go, wow, he's going to be the next big thing. Yes, amazing. Another show comes on. He's absolutely rubbish. He needs to do this. Next minute, they're in Turkey. The 26, as Dele Alli could be potentially soon, and that's it. Career's gone to rubbish. They're going to earn okay money in a different country, but they're never going to be recognised for being a good footballer again. All that football and ability and all the confidence that they once had is non-existent anymore. So it makes me feel really, really sad. It does make me feel sad because, and yeah, Alistair, you're right. And Worrell is a good player, and people that are going, oh, but what about the interview where he said he'd leave Forest? Let's be completely honest. Even if you were a Forest fan, if you got a massive money offer, if you got a big offer from a good Premier League side at the time, which were Burnley, or potentially even West Ham, why you would leave? There's more money in it. There's more reputation for yourself. You built career. It's your career. It's a business. You know what I'm saying? It's a business for people. It's a job. If you were offered more money, if you really like the company you worked at, but you're offered double the pay, you were offered a big company where your name would be out there and you could potentially move to other places as well, you would take it. Put that into perspective, please, people. And people that go after Joe Worrell and say, oh, he's crap, he's this and this. He's not rubbish. But there's things in his games that even he will know this as well. He will know this. So there's no point even us even conversing about it. But there's things in the game that he can improve. Steve Cooper will say that, or he will know that, and he probably won't say it to the media because he cares about his players as individuals, and he talks about team performances, not individual performances, which I like a lot. But all I would say is get behind your players. And I think you are right. Nick, I think you're right. He does start a season slowly and gets up to speed. He's loyal to Forest, as Ben says, and he does deserve time to prove himself. What, we're like 3 games in? How on earth can you say to me now, oh, Joe Worrell, rubbish? We're 3 games in. 3 games in. And in that time, we've conceded 3 and 3. And the first 3 teams that we played are Newcastle, West Ham and Everton. Now, you can say what you want. But if you had told me we concede just 3 from those 3 games, on average 1 goal per game, and get 4 points out of 9, I'd say to you, yes, please. And that's what we've done so far. And you've got to give credit to the defence for doing that. They've made mistakes. Yes, Niakate perhaps would have been, better in that start. It would have improved the defence, of course. But you've got to work with what you've got. And if players can't make mistakes, then you can take McKenna out of the lineup. You can take Awoniyi out of the lineup. You can take Lingard out of the lineup. You can take everybody out of the lineup. Absolutely everyone. Everyone makes mistakes, and Joe Worrell will know the mistake he's made and will work on it. So let's get behind our team as a fan base, and let's just realise, this is a player that cares for the club. And Ez, I know you're right. I know you're loyal to Forest and you won't put you in a back 3, but Joe Worrell's a bit different in that situation, is the fact he's a professional footballer. He's been there for a multitude of years now, and he's got experience in the Championship at a decent level, and he's a strong player. He just needs to improve on certain aspects of his game. So, and just before I leave this stream, which will be just very soon, it's tough. It really is tough because he's only a young lad as well. But we have to look at this and we have to go, and I'm aware he hasn't just made one mistake, and I'm aware of that. And there was things last season, he could have improved last season, but this is what we've got to do now. We've got to get behind him and also realise you can be constructive of Joe Worrell, as Ez is. Ez isn't having a moan or having a go. He's being constructive, and that's right. As a fan base, you've got every right to be constructive. But there's just things he needs to improve in his game, and maybe buying in another defender like Reguilon, or well, should I say Tanganga, really, for that position. Maybe that's what he needs, because no player should be comfortable in their spot at Nottingham Forest. No player. No player should be comfortable in their spot. That's where you've got a problem. If a player's comfortable in just getting 90 minutes every week and not even having to challenge for it, then there's problems. But they will know this. Maybe bringing Tanganga in, and I know that people are saying that it's not close or whatever. I mean, don't forget this kind of shortlisting of him is fairly recent anyway. So you've still got to give it time. But Forest, of course, AC Milan want him. They want him. But if Forest do get him, providing that competition to a player like Joe Worrell, there's nothing wrong with that. It will probably be, in my opinion, beneficial to Joe Worrell. If it means that he misses out on a game, if it means he misses out on 2 games, if it means he gets only half a game, there needs to be someone there to say, if you don't do this now, then I'm gonna go for it. If you don't perform well, I'm going to go and take your spot. That's what we need in every position. That's so important, especially in the Premier League. And there will be times, I'm sure, where Joe Worrell comes off, and who knows what's going to happen next game. The selection. It's probably unlikely that he won't be in the lineup. But you don't know. Cooper will know what mistakes made. He's referenced it a lot, but he's not going to say, because he doesn't talk about individual performances. I know this because I've been in a few press conferences. He's been there. And he said he doesn't talk about individual performances ever. In that manner, may I just add. So we've got a Leicester fan in. Always. I mean, look at this guy. Where are you in the table, bud? Where are Leicester in the table? Where are Leicester in the table? Just tell me that. Tell me that. I mean, you're saying, oh, it's only 3 games. You lost against Southampton. Thank you for the tenner, by the way, that you won me. Taking him out of the firing line isn't to be detrimental. It may be too much too soon. Perhaps, maybe. And I think Ryan Yates has done a really good job of stepping up as well. So I think I'm impressed with him. But it's a really tough call to make, because who are you going to put in his position for one? I just don't know. I think it's a really difficult one, because Joe Worrell's a fighter. He cares for the club. He's club captain. He's been there a long time. And there is an element of sentiment in him being the captain, But Worrell, for me, is a good player, and he does things good. But a couple of mistakes and this. But with that goal at Everton, he can work on that. Okay, you can't necessarily make yourself so much pacier, but you can work on preparation like Scott McKenna does. All he needs to do is watch what Scott McKenna does and others, and if that's from the subs bench, then that's just how it is. But I don't think it's going to come to that. I don't think it'll come to that, So let me just say this: whatever happens against Tottenham, whatever, things will be difficult and there might be mistakes made, but it's a great opportunity this week in training to kind of get used to maybe some practices that other players use against pacier players, to better their game. And Worrell can do that by watching the likes of Scott McKenna, because Scott McKenna's not a really pacey guy, and by the way, even indoors, date in sight. I just think that all in all, he'll probably play at the weekend. There's not really many other options for him unless you want to see Mbeso in that lineup, which in my opinion, I don't really fancy it. He just needs to, I think, just improve on certain aspects, and especially against pacey strikers. You're going to see it against Spurs. If he doesn't have that preparation and keeps an arm out, keep a meter in between those players, going to struggle a little bit. It's going to struggle a little bit, but it'll all be being worked on. Now, we're going to go to the last 10 minutes of the stream. I'm going to cut it off at 9, as I do want to catch the last bit of the game. But don't worry, I will be back this Friday evening, for another stream. So, but it has been 3 games. Let's talk about positions when it actually counts. All well and good buying all these players, but I doubt they'll gel. I mean, you're saying you doubt they'll gel. To a degree, they've gelled moderately. We've got 1-1 against Everton. We beat West Ham. Europe last year. We've had a tough game against Newcastle. I mean, who wouldn't? You guys definitely would at Leicester. But for you guys, well, let's have a look at your record this season. I mean, you're saying it's only 3 games, but 3 games that actually really were winnable, and you didn't win them. So, well, I mean, the Arsenal one, fair enough. But Brentford 2-2, you lost 4-2 against Arsenal, and you lost 2-1 against Southampton. You've got Chelsea, Man United, Brighton, and Aston Villa. I can't see you winning any of those 4, to be honest. I can't see you winning any of those 4. So you can say you're a bigger club. More recently, you've achieved more, I would agree. But in terms of the size of the club, I don't know. I mean, as long as you're not facing us in the FA Cup, then we're all right, aren't we? So last couple of minutes of the stream then. Guys, it's been a pleasure to bring this stream to you. I'm really sorry about cutting it off early. But yeah, I do want to catch some of this game. I'm a little bit tired as well. I've got a bit of a mental few days coming up as well. So I hope you all do stay with me. Stay with the channel as well. Means a lot to me. There'll be a few less streams a week, but we will be working on some premium content, you could say, available for all. With some brand new interviews with a certain someone who someone may have guessed correctly. Jay, would you say Joe has similar pace to Steve Cook? If so, then there's a player Joe can... Yeah, I would say not far from. And this is it. But McKenna and Cook aren't the paciest of players, but they always seem to keep a good distance between those players. They always seem to keep an arm out, keep a meter, keep 2 meters away from the player. He's fast. If he's 2 times quicker than you, you've got to be 2 times more in front of him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what as a defense you've got to do. But that'll be worked on. So May I can't even reply. Forest won't finish higher than City. I mean, that's a really, really bad comeback. I'm not even going to reply to you there. But yeah, all the best. Forest are the bigger club. Simple. Thank you. I will make the most of recharging. Absolutely. 14 hours of work on Thursday is going to absolutely kill me. But I'll be here on Friday night. Don't worry, everybody. Stay tuned, as I say. Keep subscribing, keep liking, do your thing, people. And more importantly, have an absolutely amazing night. I'm looking forward to the Sunday game. If any of you are about, drop us a thumbs up and it'd be good to meet you there as well. So cheers for joining. Have a fantastic evening. Take care. And I'm looking forward to speaking to you all in the very, very near future. So see you Friday night, everybody. Have a fantastic evening. Forest currently 2-0 up. Take care. See you soon.